What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here. You get to see me a lot. Hopefully, you guys are liking these little quick videos that I'm doing in the morning, all fall week. So, I got some time on my hands getting ready for the game this Saturday night. But before we get rolling, appreciate all the support as usual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit the bell, spread the word with Cowboys Nation, and leave a comment. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Conversation's always good. Like I said, I'm just a fan. I'm not. I don't claim to be an expert. Just sharing my opinions with Cowboys Nation. But wanted to talk a little bit about Tony Pollard and really the running game. Those of you who follow me enough know I love the running game. My favorite players are always running backs, from Tony Dorsett to Emmitt Smith, obviously Zeke and so on. But I had concerns going into this season. Going into this season with Pollard as a lead back, it's nothing against him. I just seen this story before where you got a guy that has a great number two role, complimentary back, special at it, makes the big plays, and then you put him in a position to be the lead dog and be the banger, be everything to your team, and it doesn't really work out the way you want. We saw it with Felix Jones. Just looking back at the Cowboys. And, Pollard was never a lead back, not really even back in college. I think he only had, most carries he had was like 16, I think, in a game or something like that. So I was concerned. And, Kelly, on our show, we talked about, do the Cowboys get a veteran? Is there a guy out there they can get? Is there someone? Because obviously I don't want to bring up the Z word, but, they let him go, which I understand it was big money, and the stats and performance just didn't justify the salary cap hit. But you got to have a replacement. There was something Zeke did special in between the tackles and dirty yards, goal line yards. We talked about the Miami game. That was, I don't say it was pathetic, but I cannot believe that he got stopped at that goal line. One, he could have went to the pylon, but two, he let a DB arm tackle him and fling him around backwards to where he didn't even get past the goal line. So again, I like Pollard. I think they're just taking Pollard away from what makes him special. And if you really, you look at his numbers this year, some of it can be a little bit deceiving on some of his yards per carry in certain games. But I mean, in the Miami game, 3.2 yards a carry. Buffalo was the one game where I thought he had things going, and I think he was poised for a much better day. But I mean, his long, if you look at his past, three games, as long as 11 yards. There was a 16-yard run against Seattle, 27-yard run against Washington, 22-yard run against Carolina is long. I mean, that's not him. He's an explosive guy. I mean, he's explosive plays. Hasn't had a rushing touchdown in 3 games. Really only has 2, 3, 4, 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. And then you look over to Rico and you're like, all right, well, maybe Rico can be the banger. But the last 3 games, he's combined for 5 carries for 8 yards. He had 12 carries against Philadelphia, which, they were up ahead, so they're running the ball. I get it. But even, Rico has not been running the ball, not really getting the opportunities. So you see kind of what they did in the Miami game. You saw they've been struggling with some short yardage and goal line, that kind of situation. Get Lipke in there. I'm not going to totally kill him on the one play, bad play, game-changing play, but I don't think they should go away from that. I think he was getting those short yardage yards. So I want to see them hopefully continue it. But I don't know. I think they need to get Rico to be the inside running back, get Pollard back to doing the outside stuff. I know some people say, well, he's coming off of, injury and this and that. But, I mean, he's played in every game. So I don't think injuries have anything to do with it. His vision just doesn't look to be as good as it was last year. And again, I don't know if he's trying to go too hard, if he's trying to, prove to everyone that he can be the number one guy. But, you go back to Felix Jones and, not to just bring up, old times, but I mean, Felix Jones, his rookie year, he was averaging 8.9 yards a carry. And I understand he didn't have a ton of carries then. But when he did this next year, he had 5.9 yards a carry, and he had long runs. And then they started getting him the ball more and more, and then you saw the production just decrease and decrease and decrease. So that's what I'm just seeing, the similarities with Pollard, and they've got to get it going. If you can't run the ball in the playoffs, they're going to have a hell of a time moving on. and you could see it when they need to drain the clock, when they need to set the tone. They're struggling running the ball consistently. Um, the offensive line is, they've been pretty healthy the whole year. I know Tyron's out. So I think the offensive line is good enough to run the ball. They they just got to get it done. And if they don't figure it out, they've got 2 games to kind of get this thing tweaked up and figured out. And I still think they can. It's more, for them, it's scheme. They got the personnel to do it, but they've got to get something. So I don't know your guys' opinion with it. Definitely leave a comment, and definitely would love to get in a debate with it. We'll be talking more about it. We got a live show tonight, our usual time, 8 p.m. Dallas time. We got the Star We Are going to be coming in. Guys are going to be coming in with Kelly and I. Should be a fun show. And then I'll tell you, Thursday night, going to do a special Jimmy Johnson tribute. Kind of just share some memories. I definitely want you guys involved. Share just some thoughts and memories on Jimmy Johnson. I've got a couple shout outs from former coach, former players, the Cowboys and stuff like that. Leave, with video messages and stuff like that with Jimmy Johnson, sharing some stories. So it's going to be a really fun show. So definitely tune into that. It's going to be live. But give me your opinion on Pollard. I mean, what can we do? Or do we just say, you know what, let's just sling that ball 50, 60 times a game? I don't know if that's the recipe for success with the Cowboys, but would you see them doing, they had Turpin involved a little bit on the running. They're using CeeDee, sparingly, obviously, with the running game, but maybe they need to mix it up with more of that. And with CeeDee, getting him more involved may help, because you saw the Dolphins game. We're going to talk a lot about that tomorrow night too, but I'll touch on it. Is with CeeDee in the Miami game, he gets off to that huge start, and then it just kind of disappears for a couple quarters, and then all of a sudden he reappears in the fourth quarter. And they've got to keep him involved. They've got to, when he's hot, you got to run with it. And I know they were struggling, with pass protection. That was the one game where Dak Prescott just got harassed, and it's where you miss Tyron Smith. And I understand, we all know he's going to miss a few games. That just comes with being Tyron Smith, just the way it is. But there was just, Dak Prescott was getting harassed, and he's getting harassed a lot. So I don't know if I'm thinking that might have had something to do with it. But you got to figure out a way to get him the ball. And maybe with CeeDee, he's not the biggest guy, but maybe you use him in the running game, almost like a Debo in a way, where maybe you're just getting him those end arounds, or you're getting those wide receiver screens or quick passes, something to use your passing game like your running game, you know what I mean, to simulate the run plays to help you get in third and shorts and things like that, where it's more manageable. So definitely want to get it going. We got 2 games. I'm confident we're going to win these next 2. We'll finish 12-5 as I predicted. Then it just really comes down to what's Philly going to do. Philly, the fans are coming at me and they're pumping their chest out with that big win over the Giants. Boy, they had to be excited. And then they've got the Cardinals, which don't sleep on that one. And that one's going to be interesting. And then, of course, they got to play the Giants at home, which if the Giants play the way they did in the first meeting, keep, Tyrod in there, Giants end up winning that game. So Philly is just not looking very good at all. They haven't looked good in a while. So if I was a Philly fan, I'd be concerned. But the thing that you're seeing with the playoffs, and it's what I said yesterday, if you didn't watch the show, every team is flawed. Look at you can go AFC, NFC, but I'm just focused on NFC because that's where the Cowboys are. But look at the teams in the NFC. Of course, you got 49ers. I'm not gonna dismiss them because of the performance they had against the Ravens, but they definitely showed some flaws. You got, if Dallas is the 2 seed or Philly's the 2 seed, both teams have shown some flaws. Dallas has shown that they've struggled on the road. Philly's shown they struggled all year. They got no secondary, and their offense is just kind of sputtering. Then you get into Detroit. Detroit looks good sometimes. They look bad sometimes. Very inconsistent, losing against bad teams, playing close games, and then winning some against the better teams. So it's just been hot and cold for them. You look at Tampa Bay. Everyone's anointing Tampa Bay. Oh, my God, they're the greatest. Look at they're on this run. They beat the Falcons barely. They barely beat the Panthers. They beat Green Bay. They did, so it's like, let's calm down a little bit. Slow, pump the brakes on them. Then you hear the Rams. Oh, God, the Rams are going to be this dangerous team. again, look at who they beat. It's you beating bad teams in close games. All of a sudden, you're a great team. We blow out those bad teams, and that don't count. So just remember, Dallas beat the Rams. Dallas beat Seattle. Dallas beat Philly. Three of the teams in the playoff. They're gonna play Detroit. I think we'll win that one. So that'll be four of the really six, because you got to take us out of it. We beat in the playoffs. So Dallas is proven they've beaten every team except for the 49ers and one of the other teams they didn't play, or the Buccaneers. But if the Buccaneers, they play them in the first round, then they're going to end up going through that. So Cowboy Nation, just pump the brakes on the panic. I know that's the one thing the Cowboys fans do, is they're hot and cold. We blow out or beat Detroit, everyone's going to be Super Bowl again or something like that. So, you know, let's get in the playoffs. The goal is get in the playoffs and see what happens. I think I think we're going to be okay in the playoffs. Much rather be home than away. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I'd rather be the 2 seed than the 5th seed, but I think the 5th seed isn't the worst spot you can be at, because I'm telling you, everyone said, well, you got to go to San Francisco the next week. No, I don't think so. I think if a 6 or 7 seed is going to beat the 2 or 3 seed. I think one of them's going down. Maybe both, but I think one of them's going down. You could end up host or going to Detroit, which I'd rather go to Detroit than San Francisco. Let's be honest. So there's still, the playoff scenarios has still got a ways to work out. So but the Cowboys, more importantly for me, the running game. They got to get this running game to where it's consistent and they can be dominant. Don't have to be the best. I understand we're not going to have the best running game in the league, but you got to be able to count on it. You got to be able to count on it. And when you need it, can you count on this running game? And right now, I just don't think you can. So let me know your comments. Let me know your opinions. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit the share. If you're new to the channel, go back in the playlist. We have a ton of interviews. I'm going to pull another one up. I put a Dave Campbell up talking about Jimmy Johnson, from an old show. We had some great interviews. Going to do more in the off season. It's just been so busy with the season, but it's a good opportunity for us in the off season to kind of look back at some careers in the NFL, have a good time, and share some memories. So appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, and share. I can't say it enough. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. All it does is it helps support the channel, helps the channel grow. And as the channel grows, we can continue to bring you guys great content and have a lot of fun with Cowboys Nation and get ready for, some playoff football. But let's handle Detroit Saturday. Your boy's going to be there, so you might as well lock it up. Go ahead and make all the bets you want. We're going to win that game. I will be there. I'll be at Texas Live. We'll be at the Des Bryant tailgate party. Hopefully you guys are there. If you are, hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. It's at mtag1993 if you don't know. If you ain't following, what's the matter with you? And I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Hopefully you guys tune in tonight live. See ya.